Hello everybody. I know it's been a hot jiffy since I have posted anything on YouTube, but yeah, here I am. And I know that my hair is a bit of a hot mess, but I don't know, there's something about it that I really like. It's kind of like artsy or whatever. Anyway, before I begin, I would like to express my deepest gratitude towards the ancestors of this land that I am on today. All the ways that they have loved, cherished, protected, nurtured this land. All the ways that the traditional custodians of today are looking after this land with so much love, carrying their culture's wisdom, fighting to protect their land. And I may be here to be of service to the land today in whatever way I can. I hope you are doing well. I am in a great mood. It's super duper rainy outside and gloomy. So I just started learning how to crochet and that's been really fun. And I've just been on the phone with Andrea. I've done some yoga, I've had a nap. Yeah, it's been great. So I've been wanting to make this video for a hot jiffy, but I just wanted to be in the right mindset to do it. So here we are. I wanted to talk to you guys about my transition from being in Phangan to Melbourne and the realizations I've just had in being here. I've been here for 5 weeks now, and just all the realizations and reflections I've had and all the ways I feel I've changed as a person and continue to grow as a person has just been so wild, and I just couldn't have anticipated any of this, which is generally the way with life anyway. So I kind of mentally prepared myself about coming here well in advance. I knew that it was going to be a struggle. No, I don't want to say the word struggle. I knew it was going to be a challenge to be back in a city. I haven't really spent much time in cities at all for the last year and a half. And you know, I've been on this tiny ass island in Thailand that's all tropical, nature everywhere, rose quartz in the land, super synchronistic, very motherly, nurturing energy. So to go from that to a more masculine city, I knew it was going to be tough. And also the one thing I was really worried about, and I tend to worry about, is how I manage my energy and my sensitivities, especially coming into a bigger city, and also leaving this little cocoon that is Phangan, this beautiful conscious community, and to be out in a world where not everyone is going to understand that kind of lifestyle and mindset. One of the biggest realizations I've had in being here, and probably one of the most important, is after the last year and a half, I recognized just how important it is through lived experience of being in a conscious spiritual community of like-minded people, and especially coming from Phangan as well, where you are in this beautiful safe space and this beautiful container. I knew that Phangan was somewhere that I would want to come back to and spend more long-term for a number of reasons. First of all, because I know that my soul's purpose is supporting other people on their spiritual journeys. I thought Phangan was a really beautiful place to get to do that, because literally everyone comes from all over the world to seek personal development, to grow and to heal spiritually. And so to be able to support those people within that journey, and for them to take, you know, all of the knowledge and the experience that they've had in Phangan and take it back to their respective cities and do all of these beautiful things, like to be a part of that process, I was like, what more could I possibly want? The other side of living in Phangan, amongst the many other reasons, is also that I personally would be able to go out and work on aspects of personal development that I feel would be really beneficial to me, and then also take that skill, that knowledge, that mindset out into, I guess, in my case, in Australia. Right now, I honestly don't know how long I'll be here for, but I intuitively feel that I may be here longer than 2 months. Coming to Melbourne with that mindset, being here for a little while, maybe a week or two, first of all, it was a bit challenging to start with, I'm not gonna lie. In the first week, even in the first few days, just even being inside the apartment, I could feel the collective energy from outside, and that was already affecting me. And then obviously going outside, that amplified, and I was like, I know I'm meant to be here for a while, I don't know how I'm going to do this. In that short 1 week or so, initially when I was here, what I realized is this is the most important point in the whole video, I swear it. A lot of us who have felt so isolated, being out in the matrix or the real world or whatever you want to call it, and end up in these spiritual communities where for the first time we are in these environments where we are so seen and heard and understood and met precisely where we are. It's so easy for us to just remain in that little bubble, and by doing that we are causing this separation between ourselves, a spiritual community, and people who are in the matrix. As Hitomi Mochizuki, who is my favorite YouTuber, has explained in a previous video, her idea of being spiritual, it's not about wearing the crystal necklaces and doing yoga every day and dressing spiritual. Being spiritual about recognizing that we are all one, the divine is inside each and every single one of us, and therefore there is no separation between any of us. So this idea that separation exists between these spiritual hubs and the quote-unquote matrix world, that completely goes against my understanding of spirituality. The more that we allow ourselves to be inside this little bubble and hold resistance against the outside world, the reality is that is how the rest of the world is. There's no denying that. So in allowing yourself to be inside this little bubble, you're allowing yourself to be in denial about how everything simply is. Again, we all deserve to be seen and heard and understood and met precisely where we are. But I think there comes a time for all of us where we need to reconcile a healthy balance between these two worlds. And it is possible. And this is why I realized how important it is for myself to know how to be in a big city, so that first of all I am not bogged down by all the energies that are around me like I have for the last 29 years of my life, and I can just also enjoy all these beautiful things that are a part of being human, walking into the city and going to different festivals, enjoying different cultural events and learning more about different types of people, going to craft classes and dance classes, these cool wonderful things that are a part of being human that I will normally only get to experience in a big cosmopolitan, multicultural city such as Melbourne. Irrespective of whether I am in a conscious community or whether I am in a big bustling city, to just be very centered, present and grounded within myself and be in my own joy. It's all well and good for me to be on this tiny island in Thailand or to be meditating up in a mountain somewhere in Tibet, but that doesn't help the rest of the world, does it? It's so easy for you to feel at peace in an environment that is conducive to that, but the real growth, the real expansion comes from remaining within that peace and that calmness inside you, because it's always inside you, irrespective of what your environment is. Like I've said, we are so needed everywhere else in the world. That's why I love Phangan, where everyone from all over the world comes to this one hub for healing, and they take all of those gifts and everything that they learn and they go back to their respective cities in countries all over the world, and they start to bring women's circles, sharing circles, yoga, meditation, all of those things to the people who really need it. And by us not even actively doing these facilitations, but just bringing our energy and our understanding of unity and love into everyday places, whether you work in a clothing shop, whether you're just sitting in a cafe, just being within your being. Does that make sense? That is already making ripple effects into the environment that you're in, whether you are aware of it or not. Up until recently, I genuinely thought that I had to let all of my friendships go, friends who didn't identify as spiritual. But what I have learned so much over the last few months, especially being in a city like this, is actually I'm so fortunate that my friends love me unconditionally, and even if a lot of the stuff that I talk about might seem really woo-woo to them, they're willing to open their hearts and listen because they love me and they want to understand me, even though it's so totally out of their norm. In me being me, whether I'm like talking to the fairies in a park, or whether I'm channeling messages or getting sensitive about energies, or whatever it is that I'm doing, whether my friends are like ready to be open to certain things that I talk about or not, it's already planting that seed in their minds, and there might come a time in their life where they'll remember something I've said and be like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. And that already creates those little ripple effects to start changing people's consciousness, and that is huge. So yes, I can go back to Phangan and live in this spiritual Disneyland, which, by the way, I'm still going to do, absolutely, because I love it there, and I still recognize that I am worthy of joy too, and it doesn't all have to be like about other people and whatever. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you may have found something within this video insightful or helpful in any way. I'm sending you so much love, and I will talk to you in a jiffy. Bye.